The Boys Season 5 has officially ended. Many people had a lot of thoughts on this season. Most of them were negative. You got even Anthony Starr commenting on Instagram Reels with like these little heart emojis and like kissy faces emojis on just every negative post about The Boys, which was kind of wild. And they were just like doom scrolling. I saw that. I was like, damn, alright. This should be interesting then. Not to say it was all bad. The season actually had a very strong start. And then, for some reason, they decided to just drastically change the pace of the show. They slowed it down very much, even though you only got 8 episodes left of the final season. They treated it like they got like 15 episodes. Now, I did feel a little nervous at the beginning about this final season because of the comment by the Worm Dude talking about how hard it was to write a final season. And I felt like that was just them trying to cover their asses about a mediocre season that we're about to get.
Didn't work.
Another thing about this season is that it just kind of felt like a big advertisement for Vault Rising, the prequel show. Now, without getting into any spoilers, a very important part of the show happened because of something that we're going to see in Vault Rising. And keep in mind, this is an integral part of the show that happened because of a prequel series you have yet to see. That's not how you write a final season. We've been with these characters for like 7 years now, and because of a prequel series that we have yet to see, in case you didn't know, we haven't seen it, it changes the plot. Now, there are several character arcs that kind of felt either rushed or just like a little bit underwhelming. You know what? I feel like I should say something a little bit more positive. I thought all the performances were very good. I thought no one was phoning it in. Even the people who I thought weren't very good actors, I thought they did a good job. You can tell that everyone on the set of The Boys cared a lot about the show. Now, I feel like I can't really talk about the rest of the show without getting into spoilers. So, you've been warned. What the fuck were they doing with Soldier Boy? His inclusion in the season was quite literally just to be a walk-in billboard for Vault Rising. Which better be good, because if his relationship with Storefront, I mean Clara, if that's not one of the greatest romantic stories I've ever seen on TV, I'm gonna be fuming. Because Soldier Boy flip-flopped so many times this season, it was like mind-boggling. But he did it for Clara. It was all for her. Which already, I feel like they're kind of setting up this prequel series for failure. Then again, I could be wrong. I could 100% be wrong. But when there's this much stake in a final season of a show that's been going on for 7+ years, already had another spinoff, I feel like you gotta nail this relationship or things are gonna be looked at very differently. Now, Soldier Boy being a very popular character, one would think he had a pretty good ending. Nope! His story ends with fucking Homelander putting him in a chokehold and then putting him back in the stupid box again!
I'm not going back in that fucking box!
Too fucking bad, bro, because guess what? It's gonna happen in there 2 fucking times! Oh, my bad. Got a little crazy there. Let me calm down a little bit. Because, I mean, Homelander, he took the V1, and last time he fought Soldier Boy, he was basically the same strength as him. And he didn't have the V1 then. So one would think that his powers increased. So obviously they're going to be sticking with this new, stronger version of Homelander, right? Right? Well, anyway, the Gen V characters were also just kind of fucking useless. I feel like their inclusion here was also just an advertisement for season 3. Oh, wait. Nope. That got canceled. One other character that was just so useless, he didn't even show up, was Kessler. And no, just because Jeffrey D. Morgan was in episode 7 doesn't mean that this was the same character that we saw in season 4. Because they're not. The character that we saw this season was just a dude that shapeshifted like him and basically just cosplayed as him. This is not the Kessler that we knew. And the show even admitted that.
It remembers me as being some sort of a sociopath head case. That hurts my feelings, Billy.
Because apparently Kessler is like the saint, which is not who we met. The Kessler we know is the cancer parasite that is living inside Butcher's head. It's his manifestation of this evil. That's what we know. And based off the ending of season 4, you would think that he would play a pretty significant part in this season, especially when you got this virus that is going to kill every single soup there is. Also, I just kind of find it weird that Kessler was supposed to be like this perfect saint. I don't know, I just kind of have a hard time seeing Jeffrey D. Morgan as like this good guy. I don't, that's a nitpick, but still. Anyway. Want to know why I don't think it's a nitpick? Frenchie's death being really stupid. Now, Frenchie, believe it or not, is a very important character. We've been with him the entire show. And yet, his death scene, we don't even see it. We don't see the killing blow. When I first watched it, I initially thought it was the radiation that killed him. And then I saw all the blood. I was like, oh, that's a little weird. And then I saw him like holding himself. I'm like, wait, did Homelander like rip out his balls or something? Nope. Wasn't that either. It wasn't until on-set pictures came out that we actually found out that Frenchie died because Homelander stabbed him in the gut with his finger and sliced him open. That's how Frenchie died. And you have no idea if those pictures never came out. That's not how you write a major character death. And it's so weird because the show has never been like shy about violence, believe it or not. It's never shied away from gore. But yeah, when it comes to a major character, we don't see it. I don't know. I wasn't satisfied with that at all. So, with the season that's been kind of just all over the place, the only real salvation will be having a very good finale. And I think it's safe to say that it was alright. I wasn't offended by it, so good job, I guess. No, I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying I wasn't offended by the finale. I thought the pacing was very off, given that for some reason we decided to slow down drastically, like halfway through the season, so we gotta catch everything back up. You know, in this one episode, we had Frenchie's funeral, Sage losing her powers, Ryan coming back, O-Father's death, the Deep's death, Homelander's death, Butcher turning evil, and then Butcher's death. And then finally we had like this little happy montage. Before, I just want to say one thing. Sage is fucking stupid. You know, there's an age-old saying that character is only as smart as the writers. I think it's safe to say how smart the writers of the show really are. Because, by God, none of her plans made sense. And if we weren't constantly told that this was the smartest character in the entire show, I wouldn't believe it. I think Homelander Season 1 is more intelligent than Sage is. I do want to say, I thought the Deep story was very well done. He's an irredeemable character, and he got murdered by the sea. I don't think you could really mess it up, and they didn't. The only problem was, like, why did Starlight choose to fight him on a beach? Like, that was her decision. But anyway, the Deep was fine. He was the peak. While Homelander's death, while also pretty satisfying, there were a few issues with it. I find it crazy that Butcher can go one-on-one with Homelander straight up, because we've seen how strong Homelander has become. He literally just teleports everywhere. He flew up to space and back down in 2 seconds. But you're telling me that Butcher can kick his ass. I don't know. But you're also going to tell me that just Butcher and Ryan alone have the capability of holding down Homelander long enough for Kimiko to hit him with the sonic super beam that Soldier Boy had to take away his powers. Maybe I could have bought this. If it weren't for Season 3, when we saw Butcher, Huey, and Soldier Boy all hold down Homelander without the V1, mind you, and he still got away. I thought that was just kind of lazy writing right there. But anyway, if you want to ignore all that, the fight was pretty good. I have to give it that. I enjoyed the fight a lot. But the one thing that was perfection was that the actual scene where Butcher kills Homelander was just masterfully done. I love that you can see Homelander have real fear and just Butcher charge forward and finally get his revenge. There's really not much to say about that. Well done. But of course, we got 20 minutes left in the whole entire series. So naturally, Butcher, who has lost his powers now, he lost Kessler, the evil inside of him, decides to turn evil and tried to release the virus in 20 minutes. If you had an entire season, or even like a second half of a season, to tell this story, I would have bought it. I would have had no issues with it. But the fact that this happened in 20 minutes, I don't know. I felt like it would have been better if somehow Butcher managed to keep his powers, and it was Kessler urging him on to release the virus. So that way, when Huey kills him, it feels even more like he had no other choice. Because Butcher was letting go of the trigger before Huey shot. So, I don't know. That felt a little weird to me. But I did think their final interaction was very nice. So, Butcher dies. Which, honestly, it needed to happen. He killed Homelander. His story was over. Butcher had to die. He had to go. So we see the boys begin to live their new lives happily ever after. That was The Boys Season 5. There were highs and there were lows. But I feel like we've seen a lot of shows, especially in recent time, really just mess up the ending. I don't think it happened here. I can honestly comfortably say I don't look at The Boys any different compared to, like, say, like a Stranger Things or even like a Game of Thrones. So, with that being said, I think it's fitting to give The Boys a 5 out of 10.
You can't fucking do this. You can't fucking do this.
Thank you. Adios. If you enjoyed, subscribe.
They say you're rubbing them the wrong way. Why are you rubbing them in the first place?
It's not fair. God damn it. God.
I take responsibility for racism.
Subscribe.